evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilshi and in the next 30 minutes, catch the latest from India and across the world. But first, the headlines. India is officially the fastest growing economy in the world. New data shows GDP is estimated to grow at 7.4% in the 2014-15 fiscal. All new names added to the list of Indians with accounts in HSBC Geneva to be probed, assures Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, but the opposition demands action beyond words. Less than 12 hours to go for counting to begin in one of the capital's toughest electoral battles. Tight security in place at all counting centres across Delhi. No end to the power tussle in Bihar. Chief Minister Manjhi is expelled from the JDU but remains defiant. Nitish Kumar stakes claim to form a government. And amid renewed clashes in Ukraine between troops and pro-Russian rebels, top world leaders agree to meet to push for revival of a peace deal. Well, our top focus, and it's good news, the state of our economy. It's official now. The economy, as measured by the gross domestic product, is expected to grow at 7.4% for the 2014-15 fiscal year ending March. This makes India the fastest growing economy in the world, overtaking even China this year. The latest data released by the Central Statistical Organization contradicts a World Bank report that said that India's growth rate will surpass China only by 2017. The CSOs released the figures after amending the way the GDP is calculated. It revised the methodology to calculate GDP at market prices instead of factor costs, and also shifted the base year from 2004-05 to 2011-12. Under the old formula, India's GDP grew at 4.7% in 2013-14, but the new method propelled the growth rate to 6.9% in 2013-14. But talking big money, the centre says that it has started legal proceedings against 60 entities with black money and illegal foreign accounts. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that new names who have been added to this list, as reported by the Indian Express today, would be investigated as part of an expansive inquiry. But he also cautioned that not all of these accounts may be illegal ones.
Vigorous steps are on to unearth black money stashed overseas. That's the government's promise. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley asserted that the Revenue Department has completed assessment of 350 foreign accounts which are under the suspicion of squirreling black money.
350 के करीब की असेसमेंट पूरी हो चुकी है। बाकियों की असेसमेंट जो है वो 31 मार्च 2015 तक पूरी हो जाएगी।
Jaitley added that the government was not in the dark about revelations made by the Indian Express. The report, based on leaks from HSBC's Swiss banking unit, mentions some 1195 Indians with bank accounts in HSBC Geneva and also discloses their balances for the year 2006-2007. The total balance from over 200 countries is over $100 billion. In the Indian context, new additions include prominent corporate leaders, diamond traders, politicians and NRIs. Jaitley stressed, however, that just names were not enough to initiate legal action.
आज जो डिटेल्स आई हैं इसमें अधिकतर नाम वही हैं जो भारत सरकार के पास या रेवेन्यू विभाग के पास पहले से हैं। सवाल नामों का नहीं है, नामों के साथ-साथ उन नामों के अकाउंट्स की एविडेंस।
The Special Investigation Team, the SRT, probing the issue met today to discuss status of cases of Indians with illegal holdings abroad. The team's head assured proper verification and legal action wherever required.
We have to go through the names. We have to find out how much amount is less there, and action will be taken.
The Indian Express report has reviewed the political storm on the black money issue. Nearly 9 months into the new government, opposition parties seek definitive answers against promises.
All these fat cats have been traditional cheerleaders of the current government. So would the Prime Minister now stand up and speak, assure the nation that he will honor his campaign promise?
Enough of rhetorics, enough of demagogy. Now what people want is action. What action the government is going to take.
Indian law states that merely holding an account overseas cannot be construed as illegal. What is prosecutable is money undisclosed to Indian tax authorities and salted away without it being taxed. The new disclosures bring back the spotlight to an issue long awaiting action. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, you can catch more of the black money issue and the road ahead immediately after this news bulletin on The Big Picture, which is coming up at 9:30 p.m. All right, now come Tuesday, all eyes will be on the counting of votes for the Delhi Assembly polls. Counting of votes is set to begin at 8 a.m. tomorrow, with the final picture likely to come by sometime noon. Tight security arrangements have been made in all 14 counting centers. And now let's get you a lowdown of all the preparations done.
Tuesday promises to be nothing short of a thriller for Delhiites, with the results of voting being declared after a short but aggressive campaign. Counting of votes will begin at 8 a.m. at 14 counting centers spread across the city. Postal ballots are set to be counted first. The counting of data stored in the nearly 28,000 electronic voting machines, which were deployed at 12,177 polling stations, will start after that around 8:30 a.m. The Election Commission has so far received 44,000 postal ballots.
स्पेशल प्रोविजन के तहत मतगणना से पहले ये सारे के सारे पोस्ट बैलेट पेपर काउंटिंग सेंटर पहुंच जाएंगे। तो 500 के आसपास, क्योंकि अभी हमारे करीब 44,000 के आसपास पोस्टल बैलेट रिसीव हुए हैं, कल तक आ जाएंगे। करीब 60,000 तक यदि हो जाते हैं तो 70 असेंबलीज हैं हमारी, तो सबसे पहले असेंबली वाइज उनको शॉर्टिंग करके पहली काउंटिंग पोस्टल बैलेट की जाती है।
Delhi turned out in record numbers for voting on Saturday. Over 67% of the electorate exercised its franchise. The Delhi Election Commission has made elaborate security arrangements at all counting centers. There is 3-tier security in place to protect the EVMs that have been kept in strong rooms inside the counting centers. The security is the responsibility of the paramilitary force, armed police and Delhi police.
उसमें 3 लेयर सिक्योरिटी तो है, पूरा फुल प्रूफ सिस्टम होता है। उसके बाद जहाँ आपकी हमारी मशीनें हैं स्ट्रांग रूम के अंदर, वो पूरा सिक्योर्ड एरिया है। वहाँ पर बिना आई कार्ड के या बिना ऑथोराइज्ड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव के नॉट ए सिंगल पर्सन इज अलाउड टू एंटर।
There are 63 women candidates in this election as against 71 in 2013. The number of candidates from recognized national and state parties is 296, while 183 candidates belong to registered parties and there are 194 independent candidates. With inputs from Anu Diwan, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In fact, repolling was held today at 2 booths for the Delhi Assembly elections after irregularities were found in EVM machines. Voting took place at booth number 31 in Delhi Cantonment area, where poll officers forgot to delete the mock poll data. In booth 132 in Rohtas Nagar, problems were reported in EVMs. Polling remained largely peaceful in both these areas. The voter turnout, remember, of 67.14% was recorded in the Delhi Assembly polls on Saturday. So what lies ahead for tomorrow for all the political parties? We've got Smitha Gupta, who's the associate editor of The Hindu, joining us right now from the capital. Smitha, good evening. First question, of course, is it going to be a restless night for the BJP?
I think so, because the exit polls have shown that the AAP is well ahead, right across, sort of decisively ahead. But of course, I mean, exit polls have been known also to go wrong in the past, so the BJP leaders will probably have their fingers crossed. I think they've been having meetings over the last couple of days, even one today, going over what might have gone wrong.
All right. Is it going to be an all or nothing really for Arvind Kejriwal at this point of time? Is this, the biggest gamble that perhaps he's played?
Well, I think the much bigger gamble was the one that he played in Banaras during the Lok Sabha elections, when he challenged the Prime Minister himself. But certainly this election is going to be very important, because when in 2013, when he won when he became Chief Minister after the Assembly elections, he was completely new, so he didn't have anything at stake. Then after his 49-day government, he and his party almost seemed to vanish. But they have made a remarkable comeback over the last 1 year, and which sort of came, his campaign came to life over the last 3-4 weeks. So he certainly has, a lot depends on whether he is able to win this election, not only for the Aam Aadmi Party, but also I think the entire opposition is watching this election very carefully, because if the Aam Aadmi Party is able to defeat the BJP in the Delhi Assembly election, it will be the first defeat for the BJP after the Lok Sabha elections.
And that's what I was...
This could become a turning point for the rest of the opposition.
Yes, in fact, that's what I was going to ask you. How much of a setback, let's say, would it be to brand Modi if, we go by these exit poll numbers, and by the way, some of them, have been projecting that it's going to be an all-out Aam Aadmi Party win. How much of a setback is that going to be to Modi?
I think it doesn't mean that the BJP government at the center is going to vanish overnight or anything. It will certainly run for 5 years. They have a full majority. But it will certainly be a moral and political setback. Don't forget that the budget session is barely 2 weeks away. They have a whole bunch of ordinances.
Yes, that's right.
Which they need to convert into law.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be quite a, that's right,
empowered opposition.
Yes, Smitha Gupta, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll wait and see, of course, what the numbers say tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting day. Through the day, of course, Rajya Sabha TV will be getting you all the details, so do stay tuned with us. Meanwhile, perhaps in anticipation of the results, the markets, in fact, spoke out, and rapid sell-off in the stocks this afternoon session pulled the BSE Sensex down nearly 500 points, with the broader Nifty slipping below the psychological 8,550 levels. Markets, of course, recorded a 7th straight day of losses as exit polls show that the BJP's defeat is likely, and also a likely majority for the Aam Aadmi Party in the Delhi Assembly elections. So let's take a look at how the markets closed. The Sensex reported a fall of 490 points to settle at 28,227, and the Nifty down by about 135 points to 8,526. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said that the Niti Aayog should focus on quick resolution of interdepartmental and center-state issues to speed up the pace of implementation of infrastructure projects. He said this at a high-level meeting on infrastructure sectors in the national capital. At the meeting, the Niti Aayog made a presentation on various infrastructure sectors, including power, coal, renewable energy, ports and coastal development, roads and railways. The Prime Minister also directed the concerned ministries to work in a mission mode towards achieving electrification of the remaining 20,000 unelectrified villages in a clearly defined time frame. Meanwhile, the big political story, Jitan Ram Manjhi is still defiant, refusing to step down as Bihar Chief Minister. This despite being expelled from the JDU with immediate effect. Meanwhile, Nitish Kumar has staked claim to form the government, meeting the state governor twice in the day.
The power tussle intensified in Bihar, with Jitan Ram Manjhi refusing to step down and make way for Nitish Kumar as Chief Minister. Manjhi met Governor K.N. Tripathi and sought 2 weeks' time to prove his majority.
हमने उनसे कहा कि आपके विवेक पर है हुजूर, सबसे पहले है कि वो नेता तो चुने गए, वो गलत नेता चुने गए हैं, असंवैधानिक है। जहां तक जिस दिन आप कह दीजिए अब हम आपके ऊपर छोड़ देते हैं कि कब आप हमारी शक्ति परीक्षण की बात करते हैं या बहुमत साबित करने की बात करते हैं, आप हमको यही खाली बता दीजिए, और हम यही कहना चाहते हैं कि सीक्रेट बैलेट से वोटिंग हो।
Earlier in the day, Nitish Kumar also met the governor at the Raj Bhavan to stake claim to form the government. Accompanying him were 130 MLAs, the JDU President Sharad Yadav and RJD counterpart Lalu Prasad. They included MLAs from the RJD, Congress, the CPI and also an independent.
Immediately 24 घंटा में 48 घंटा में इस तरह का काम कर लें, हम लोगों को मौका देंगे, आप जितने समय में कहेंगे उतने समय में बहुमत सिद्ध कर देंगे सदन के अंदर भी। अगर अवसर नहीं मिलता है और टाल मटोल की कोई कार्रवाई किसी भी कारण से, किसी भी परिस्थिति में, दबाव में या जिस कारण से भी होता है, वैसी स्थिति में यह हम सब लोगों का निर्णय है कि इसके बाद हम लोग जो हमारे बहुमत विधायकों की संख्या है उसको दिल्ली में आदरणीय राष्ट्रपति जी के समक्ष हम लोग उसको प्रदर्शित कर देंगे।
The JDU also hit out at the BJP for what it called orchestrating the crisis in Bihar. The party alleged that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had himself blessed the revolt against Nitish Kumar.
सारा खेल बीजेपी का है, बीजेपी के ही इशारे पर सारा ही घृणित काम हो रहा है।
BJP and its top leaders from the center as well as from the state, they were engaged on a daily basis to thwart the democratic process, democratic aspirations in Bihar.
Meanwhile, the BJP kept its cards close, refusing to divulge its position on backing Manji. The party, however, did express confidence that Manji will prove his majority.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी इन सारे विषय पर मुख्य विपक्षी दल के नाते नजर बनाए हुए है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी ये मानती है कि ये संविधान की रोशनी में इस पर निर्णय होगा।
Both Manji and Nitish need at least 122 MLAs to prove majority. 24 MLAs from the RJD and 5 from the Congress are rallying behind Nitish Kumar, while the support of 111 JDU legislators is divided between the current and former chief ministers. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
We'll have a quick break here, but still to come, India and Singapore celebrate 50 years of diplomatic ties.
Black money. New names, new dimensions, new challenges for the government and courts. What's the road ahead?
7 prosecutions launch हुई। प्रोसिक्यूशन जब लॉन्च होती है इन्वेस्टिगेशन समाप्त करने पर, तो वो फिर सार्वजनिक हो जाता है।
Watch the big picture at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Singapore President Tony Tan Keng Yam on Monday. Yam is on a 4-day visit to India to commemorate the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties between the two countries. Singapore and India are looking at enhanced cooperation in trade and areas like promoting investments, smart cities and skill development.
Singapore President Tony Yang Keng Yam has begun his 4-day state visit to India. The Singapore leader was given a ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan by President Pranab Mukherjee and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. After brief pleasantries, Yam took the salute and inspected the guard of honor. This was followed by a wreath-laying ceremony at Rajghat. In a statement, the Ministry of External Affairs said, and I quote, "This is President Tan's first state visit to India and will showcase our long-standing and strong relations with India as we commemorate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Singapore in 2015." Unquote. The Singapore President met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. After the meeting, MEA spokesperson Syed Akbaruddin tweeted, "India-Singapore discuss an agenda of development, skill development, connectivity in Northeast India primary focus." And another tweet saying, "India-Singapore ties expanding in all directions. Prime Minister Modi meets President Tony Tan Keng Yam." Singapore is one of India's major trade and investment partners, with bilateral trade for the financial year 2013-14 standing at $19.27 billion. Singapore also emerged as the largest source of FDI into India in 2013-14, with $5.98 billion, accounting for about 25% of FDI inflows. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, Pakistan Rangers shelled 8 border outposts in Jammu and Kashmir all through last night. Many houses were damaged and a villager was injured. Authorities in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir also suspended the Srinagar-Muzaffarabad bus service after a driver from their side was arrested for trying to smuggle narcotics. He is a resident of Muzaffarabad. A local trader who was receiving the consignment was also taken into custody. Meanwhile, residents near the border demanded that the government make proper arrangements for their safety. Amid renewed clashes in Ukraine, top international leaders are planning a face-to-face meeting for fresh peace talks. Leaders from Russia, Ukraine, Germany and France have been negotiating over the phone during the last week, but they will meet in Belarus on Wednesday. However, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll be meeting them only if both sides move closer to an agreement.
Residents fleeing from the border towns amid escalating fighting between the Ukrainian government troops and pro-Russian rebels.
Все вот так, и отопление отключили. Уже здесь постоим 12 часов. Может, прорвемся в Россию. Там нас обогреют уже.
Бомбят. Бомбят вот и едут. Как шарахнуло, испугались. Куда деваться? Жить-то хочется.
Ukraine is moving its tank to the besieged border town, where military officials said pro-Russians are amassing forces for a fresh attack.
Вогневих зіткнень немає, але обстріл є. Мінометний обстріл двох позицій вже був, одну позицію градами покрили. Слава Богу, втрат нема, але досить таки важко. Важко, але тримаємося.
On the diplomatic front, a blame game is raging. Russian President Vladimir Putin is holding the West responsible for the escalating crisis. Although there is still hope for a peace deal when the top leaders from Ukraine, Russia, France and Germany meet in Belarus on Wednesday.
И в Париже, в так называемом нормандском формате, мы договорились о том, что постараемся организовать встречу в таком же формате между нами.
He will come to a point where he realizes the damage he is doing is not just to the global order and the process, but he is doing enormous damage to Russia itself.
We are united. We are united when it comes to support to Ukraine, which is something badly needed. We are united when it comes to economic pressure, and we are united also on the definition of the need to have a political dialogue, first of all.
Attempts to reach a ceasefire have so far failed miserably because of the mudslinging between the Ukraine and Russian mediators. The fighting has been almost non-stop ever since September when a peace agreement crumbled. The big challenge for Russia, Ukraine, Germany and France is to agree on one that will stick. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
An Islamic State recruiter, Mullah Abdul Rauf, has reportedly been killed in a US drone strike in Helmand province in Afghanistan. Along with Rauf, 4 other Pakistani militants have also believed to have died. Interestingly, Rauf was a Taliban commander who was captured by the US and held at Guantanamo Bay. After his release, he returned to Afghanistan only to become an IS recruiter. Rauf has been influential in Afghanistan's jihadi movement for over a decade. Spokesperson for the US-led coalition confirmed that 8 people were killed in Monday's airstrikes but did not reveal the name of the targets. Now, amid an escalating crisis in Yemen, political factions have agreed to resume talks to resolve the issue. The UN Special Envoy said all sides agreed to take part in the national dialogue that starts today. Shiite Houthi rebels are also expected to take part in these talks just days after they staged a coup and dissolved parliament to form a new government. However, the leader, Abdel Malik al-Houthi, said that he is open to all parties playing a role in the country's future. With that, let's take a look at more international news in our segment, Global Buzz. Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott survived a confidence vote challenging his leadership. His ruling Liberal Party voted down a motion to unseat him after weeks of infighting. In a secret ballot, a vote to declare the positions of party leader and deputy leader vacant was defeated by 61 votes to 39. The leadership test, initiated on Friday, came after a series of policy missteps by Abbott that saw his popularity tumble. Egyptian authorities suspended Football League matches indefinitely after clashes at a stadium in Cairo, killing 22 people. People were rushed after police fired tear gas at supporters of Zamalek who were trying to force their way for a match against city rivals ENPPI. The fans blamed authorities for opening only a single gate. The bodies of 3 Chinese people killed in the Taiwan plane crash of the 4th of February were repatriated to China today. Officials said that the remains of the 3 victims, accompanied by relatives, departed for Fujian's province Xiamen, Taiwan's Taoyuan airport. At least 40 people were killed, 15 survived and 3 are still missing. Among the 53 passengers, 31 were Chinese tourists and 22 were Taiwanese. And British soul singer Sam Smith won 4 Grammy Awards at the 57th Grammy Awards ceremony that took place in Los Angeles on Sunday. The 22-year-old English soul singer crowned his breakthrough into the top ranks by winning 4 awards, including Best Newcomer, Best Song and Best Record for Stay With Me, and the Best Pop Vocal Album for his debut in The Lonely Hour. And now all the sporting action from the 35th National Games. Kerala's O.P. Jaisha has won the women's 5,000 meters athletics final. Jaisha reached the winning line in 15 minutes 31 seconds. Maharashtra's Lalita Babbar was second with a time of 15 minutes 46 seconds. Another Maharashtrian, Swati Gadgave, came third. In the Kabaddi men's prelims, Rajasthan defeated host Kerala. Rajasthan beat Kerala 29-20. In the basketball men's prelims event, Services Sports Control Board beat Karnataka. Services beat Karnataka by 97-77. In the men's football playoff, Maharashtra recorded a victory over Goa. Maharashtra scored 3 goals in comparison to Goa's 1. In badminton, in the women's singles semi-finals, Kerala defeated Maharashtra 21-10, 21-13. While in the women's doubles, Kerala recorded a victory over Maharashtra 18-21, 21-14, 21-13. And now let's take a quick look at the medals tally of the games so far. Services, CSB continues to dominate the games, having bagged 51 gold medals, way ahead of Maharashtra, which is at second place. Haryana has in fact fallen behind Maharashtra slightly, ranking third. Both, of course, have 27 medals each. Host Kerala at the 4th spot with 16 gold. Kerala, in fact, with 19 golds and total of course, of 56 or 61 at the moment. That's it for the moment on News Tonight. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV.